So I think we would all agree that I like to prep my gear before I go camping. I like to make sure I have everything with me. Sometimes I tend to forget one or two things from time to time. But our buddy Ken has reminded me over and over and over again that I need to make a list before I go camping so I don't forget anything. So I sat down and I made a list, and I think we're good this time. Let's get it. So it's been a little while since I've paddled down here, and the water is pretty low right now, so we're gonna see what we can do. Somebody's done some bushcrafting up here, looks like. The last time I was down here, I just did a little day camp, but I found a cool little spot down the river here, and so I was kind of just thinking this afternoon that I might do a little camp, and then just decided at the last minute to just come to a kayak camp. And so we're gonna head down there. I've only really looked at this spot one time, but we're gonna head down there and see if we can make a camp out of it. Okay, so we have made it to our spot. Now, this spot here is one that I found I want to say it was earlier last year, and there definitely has been some people kind of camping in this area. But I found a spot up here, and I think it's going to work out pretty good for us, and we're just going to be here for one night, so I think it'll work out. Let's go check it out. Okay, so this is just how it was last time when I was here. Somebody's gathered up a pile of firewood, and so I don't know, maybe no one's camping up here now. There's definitely not any posted signs or anything around here. I was real careful to look for that, but I think we're gonna have to be real careful and just build a small little fire, because all of this leaf litter on the ground here would go up pretty quick. So gonna have to clean this out of area real good and then set us up just a small little fire. But I was thinking that maybe this spot right between this tree and this big oak tree here might work out good for the hammock, because the hammock needs such a small area, and that might work out. Or between this tree and that little oak tree over there. So we've got some options here. I think this is going to be a good little spot. So as you can see, I have a whole new setup here. So I'm using this Gold Armor tarp, and I've got the One Tigress compound hammock. Still kind of on the fence with that thing. It's got some issues, and I'll kind of talk with you about that later. But I've got it all set up now, and my setup is not as smooth and fluid as the one I've been using for the last few years. And I know there's some learning curve, there's some getting used to there, so I will get it, but there's definitely some, I don't have everything down smooth yet, is what I'm trying to say. But I've got this set up. Now I got to throw my underquilt on there and all that stuff, and I'll be ready to go. I'm going to clean this little area out right here, and this is where I'm going to do my fire. And tonight, I think for dinner, I'm going to just do some bangers and mash, right? Ain't that what they call them? So I've got some sausage and some mashed potatoes, and I think that'll be a good little dinner tonight. Fairly simple, and we're getting close to running out of light. It's going to start getting dark here in about an hour, so I think we're doing okay on time though. So we got our One Wind underquilt set up, and this thing I believe is only a 40-degree underquilt. But when I went to HangCon down there, this thing did fine all the way down to freezing. And it's supposed to be freezing tonight. So we're going to test this thing out and see if it will continue to keep us down cold like that. We're right here on the river, so it's a little bit of a damp cold, a little bit of a different story. So we've got this, and I've got my new Jack's Are Better Hudson River overquilt. And this thing gets down to, I think it said 20 degrees. And so I think between the two of those, we should be pretty well fine. And this thing is really nice. So really happy that I won this down there at HangCon. Honestly, you guys know I'm cheap. I probably would have never spent the money on this thing, but having it now, I can see where the money would be worth it. Okay, so I went ahead and got my fire ready to go. Now, I don't need my fire just yet, but I'm going to need it here in just a few minutes. So I went ahead and got it ready to go. Now, I didn't bring anything with me but a big lighter. So I took a lot of the duff that was on the ground, the really dry stuff, and piled it up just like a regular pile of leaves. And then I stacked some dry wood on top of it. Then I went all the way around that and dug down to the sand. The problem is, up here, there's a lot of these roots and duff on the ground. And even though it might look like I've got the fire out here, that fire can travel through these roots and it can set this whole place on fire. So I went ahead, I dug down, and I got just to sand all the way around this thing. So I'm really comfortable feeling that we're not gonna cause a big fire or anything, and we'll be able to keep it contained. That got hot quick. Alright, so we got us a decent little fire going, and I've got some stuff for dinner. So I've got these sausages, and I've got some Kerrygold butter to go in the mashed potatoes. For breakfast in the morning, I just got a little Pop-Tart. I decided to do something a little different, and brought me something warm to drink tonight in case I decide I want it. And I got some Swiss Miss milk chocolate hot cocoa, which might be kind of cool. I brought my John Muir book to read a little bit of, and I also have an audio book on my phone. Let's see, what else have I got? Okay. So in my food bag, I went ahead and just put all my stuff together. So I've got my alcohol stove for the morning. I've got a little something different. So I brought my little billy can here because I'm going to make the mashed potatoes. And it's got the little handle with it. And I got a tiny little food bag. And that's it in that one. So for my dinner tonight, I'm going to do, like I said, the bangers and mash. And I have some, looks like Idahoan mashed potatoes, butter and herb. So that should be pretty good. I need to boil 2 cups of water. And just put this in there and let it set. Stir it for 1 minute, and then I'll put some butter and stuff in it, and then I'll have some mashed potatoes and some sausages. That should be pretty dang good. So, pretty easy dinner tonight. Not going too crazy. I've got some other snacks and stuff, some coffee for in the morning. But I'm pretty set now. So I think I'm gonna just get ready and let this cook down, or let this fire burn down a little bit, and get me some water on to boil. Cook these sausages. Now, I do have my Luxada cup, and the nice thing about this is it's got the graduated lines in it, so I can actually measure my 2 cups of water, so I don't have to kind of guess at it. I can measure 2 cups of water in here, that way I get it just right. Dang. Yeah, it's hot. All right, well, it sounds like our water's boiling. Oh, yeah. Now I think we're gonna let that wait for just a couple minutes and soak up, and we'll be ready to eat. All right, so I'll switch to this camera to make it a little easier to see me at night. I've got the camera, might as well use it, right? So I've got me some good looking sausages here. They are done up, and my mashed potatoes are all done, so I think I can put me some butter in those and they'll be good to go. Now I use the grill here to make my, like a little table for my mashed potatoes, so I'm gonna go ahead and open up this butter. See if I can find it. There we go. So I got this Kerrygold garlic butter, garlic herb butter. So that should be pretty good. Cut me a little chunk of this off. That should be really good. Well, I think it's about time for a mixed drink. So I got my usual tonight. Got my Dr. Pepper and my Evan Williams. Got just about enough. Oop, too much. Just about enough for 2 drinks here. But I only brought me 1 Dr. Pepper. So I either take this home with me or sip on it later. Now, let's give this a try. Try these mashed potatoes. Yep. Mashed potatoes are good, especially with that Kerrygold butter in it. Yeah, really good. Now, I'm close enough that I can hear the road. It's about a mile up the river there, but I can hear it pretty clear. The river's fairly straight down through there, so it's just, I can hear it, no problem. But I've definitely got some other stuff walking around me back here. Yep, something right over there too. Probably possums or raccoons. But if you've ever been out in a solo camp or anything like that, it always sounds like it's huge, whatever it is. And a possum or armadillo sound like the biggest thing in the forest when they come walking through. So it's just something you have to deal with when you're solo camping. And honestly, I don't worry so much about the animals as I do people. So I know for a fact that nobody's gonna hike up on me here, and they would have to come up by boat, and I would hear them probably. So I don't worry so much about that. So I think I'm gonna just kick back and probably just listen to my audiobook. I'm gonna stack some more wood on this fire and just kick back and relax here. So. Okay, so like I said, I normally don't let this kind of stuff bother me. However, I turned my lights on a while ago and I could see eyes over there, and I'm pretty sure it's a cat. So It could be a bobcat. But whatever it is, I can hear it going back and forth behind camp over here. And that's my one thing that kind of freaks me out, is cats. I normally don't get spooked, but I gotta admit, I'm a little spooked. It's the perfect night to set up a long fire. So I went around and I gathered up some good sized logs, about between 6 and 8 inches, and I got 3 of them. They're roughly 4 foot long or a little better, and I got them set up 2 on the bottom and then 1 in the center on top, and I got a good bed of coals in the middle of them, and they're all pretty solid logs. So to be honest with you, that should burn pretty much most of the night, if not all of the night. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm about ready to go ahead and put my sleeping clothes on. So I've got some thermal pants that I wear at night, and then my wool socks, and then I've got a hoodie that I'll put on, and I got my little toboggan that I can wear if I need it. But I'm about ready to put my sleeping clothes on and climb in this hammock. So I'm pretty happy with the way everything's set up here. It's not going to catch anything on fire, and I'll have this fire running all night just about. So pretty happy with this setup out here. Haven't heard anything in the last 30 minutes or so behind me, so not too worried about that. But I am protected. I do have my protection with me, so if something happens, I got something. But pretty happy with the way things are going now. It's been pretty peaceful out here. I actually was listening to my book, just relaxing. I did go down and do my dishes and get that all cleaned up, and got my food and stuff away from camp, so I don't have that worry. But yeah, pretty happy with the way things are going. So I think I'm about ready to get ready for bed. I think I'll see you guys in the morning. Well, good morning. I made it through the night anyway. Nothing came and ate me. Pretty frosty this morning out here though. There's frost on the kayak seat. I got up and was able to get the fire back going pretty easy. And just standing around it warming up right now. About ready to get me a cup of coffee on there. And some Pop-Tarts. I got a Pop-Tart this time. Something different. I'm glad we got Pop-Tart crumbles. Oh well. That's good. Nice and warm. I gotta get me some coffee in me. It's still pretty cold out here this morning. That sun coming up though is helping. I can already feel heat from it, so that's good. Cause it's gonna be a cold paddle back. I actually have to get packed up pretty quick here and get going, cause I actually have to work for a little bit about lunchtime today, so I can't just hang out all day. I gotta get packed up here in a little while and get going, but it won't be until that sun comes up and knocks the frost off of that kayak seat, I can tell you that. Pretty surprised at how much traffic noise I can hear. Like I said, I'm about a mile from the road, but boy, it carries down that river. It's like a funnel or something, I guess, and makes it louder down here, but there were some times last night that it got really loud. I'm a little bit worried because where I parked my Jeep's just under the overpass there, and I heard some banging and loud exhaust and all kind of stuff down there last night. I'm worried that they might have tried to get into my Jeep, but I sure hope not. Unfortunately, that's the problem with being able to, you know, just find somewhere like this to take off and camp, because that's not a protected parking area. I sure hope not, though. Come on, water, get hot. Have my Pop-Tart done before my water ever gets hot enough for coffee. I did have some tiny little ice slush kind of in my water bottle this morning. I brought water with me because I was just paddling in a little ways, so I didn't have to filter water or anything. But yeah, I had a little bit of a a little bit of slush in the water jug. Man, need to get some coffee. My throat's kind of dry. Alright, so this morning we're going back with the Old Town 3-in-1 white coffee. I've only got a couple more packs of this left. That water's got to be hot enough for coffee now. Doesn't need to be boiling, right? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's plenty hot. Oh, coffee, where have you been? Oh, yeah. Coffee. That's real good this morning. Real good. Well, I've procrastinated enough, I think. I've pretty much let the fire go down, and I think it's time to get packed up and get ready to get out of here. So I told you guys that I was going to tell you a little bit of what I think is wrong with this hammock. And I know that I am on the heavier end of the range of this hammock, so keep that in mind. But bigger guys, I want to tell you something. This ridge line that this thing comes with initially, it's not good. It stretches a lot, and then after you use it a little bit, this little thing here, which is the tensioner, starts to slip, and then if you look closely, if you can see that, it starts to break. And that's what happened here. It broke. So what I did was I added a smaller piece of this cordage. I can't remember who I got it from, but I got it from Hammock, and this doesn't have any stretch in it at all, and I really liked it. And it's high vis, so I got a little bit of it for my ridge line and everything too. Really like it. I'll try to figure out who it was that I got it from at Hammock, and I'll leave a link in the description. But I got some little S-beaners, Night Eyes S-beaners, and I made my own ridge line. Now, this thing here is the next weakest link. So it is wrapped around here, and it's just got some little stitching in it right there. Well, a big guy like me, when you set this thing up, as you set down in it, it pulls a lot of stretch on, or a lot of tension on this right here, and it popped the one at the other end. Not a huge deal. I just went out around it with my ridge line, and that's okay. That's fine. But I am noticing now that my ridge line goes through here. They put it through here to hold your netting off of you. But if you look here, it is actually putting tension on this right here and on this right here, and eventually that is going to go. So if, you know, it's just a word to the wise for bigger guys. These are some things that you're going to have to look out for. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this ridge line here to keep my netting off of me. But I'm going to add a actual tensioning ridge line from here to there and bypass this. So it'll be a little bit aggravating because there'll be two ridge lines. Not a huge deal, but that way I'm not adding that stress in right here and tearing the hammock up. That's what I can see right now to get around tearing this thing up. And, you know, I'm a big guy, I understand, and I am definitely testing the limits of what this thing can handle. But, you know, being right at 300 pounds, it's rated for that. So, but I just wanted to show you kind of what I was dealing with on it, and kind of give you my little things that I'm doing to fix it. So just something to think about. But other than that, I really like this hammock. Alright, real quick, let me show you one more thing. So actually watched Luke from the Outdoor Gear Reviews video on this hammock. Luke's a lot smaller guy than me, so he had a lot of great things to say about it. He didn't really have the to deal with my weight issue and what it's doing to the hammock. So, but one of the things that he said in there is freaking awesome. It makes incredible sense. So he said to add a longer piece of paracord or cordage to the inside of the zipper. And I did that on the bug net and on that second layer in there. And what that does is that gives you something to be able to grab a hold of when you're zipped all the way out. So I can actually grab a hold of this with my toes, pull it to me, and then I can grab it with my hands and zip it all the way up. And that's a pretty simple little hack, I guess, for this hammock right here, and it works great. Some folks just came by in a little motorboat there. That's the quietest boat I've ever heard, or ever seen. I didn't hear it. Pretty amazing. And it's got a little kicker on it. It just doesn't make any sound. Super quiet. Well, I got everything about back to the way it was, as much as I can anyway. Definitely trying to leave no trace. Got my campfire out good. I went down and got water a few times and made sure that was out real good. Covered it back with the sand, and then I've got everything covered back over it. Not perfect, but it's pretty good. So I think we're packed up and ready to go now. So just got to get on the water. Alright guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed this camp. Had a little bit of a spook there a little bit, but just kind of made the trip a little more fun. That kind of stuff's what makes it an adventure. If you did like this video, give it that big thumbs up for me. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Leave me a comment below, let me know what you thought. And you can follow us on Instagram and on Facebook. And appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you next time. Well, I guess we're about to find out if that banging was somebody trying to get into the Jeep. Fingers crossed it wasn't. My goodness, something stinks bad. There's old rotten fish or something around here. Oh, what is that? Oh, somebody cleaned a bunch of catfish. Gross. See it right there? That's what it is. Yuck. Well, looks like I was worried for nothing. The old Jeep is in as good or bad a shape as it was when I left. So, thank goodness I was worried for nothing.